Oh, that's
Holly,
exciting.
morning.
I'm sorry I can't bring the same levels of talent for you here. But
What have you got
But I
for
will
us?
try. I've got disappointment from the England cricket camp, I'm afraid.
What's happened?
That man behind you, Jimmy Anderson, he's been injured again. Now, bear in mind, this is a man who only came back from injury. He suffered with a calf injury, which he picked up on the very first morning of the Ashes. This time, he's broken a rib.
Hey.
Looks like he could be out for 6 to 8 weeks. This is a huge blow for the England
Is that while
cricketers in
playing?
South Africa. While playing cricket, yes, in the second test in South Africa. So, yeah, out of the final 2 tests there. Now, England's all-time leading wicket, the tie in Sydney. And that match only ended in the last few hours there against Alex de Minaur in Australia. It lasted 3 hours and 23 minutes. Dan Evans digging in deep to keep Great Britain in there.
He's been doing well.
Really well since coming back, hasn't he? It's been really impressive. Great Britain in general at the ATP Cup have far exceeded anyone's expectations. This competition, obviously, the first time it's ever happened. So good for the Australian Open coming up very soon.
Oh, thanks very much.
Thank you.
To a camel beauty contest when I was the correspondent in the Middle East. They are
What part of the anatomy of a camel do you look at?
absolutely everything. But it also includes things like mascara on the eyelashes. I mean, they go all out.
Really?
It's incredible. Yeah. It's a whole new world. It was very eye-opening, if you'll excuse the pun. But, yeah, they go for a lot of money. Good camel breeding, because they have camel races, they breed camels, you know.
Never knew
Huge
you had
industry.
this area of expertise, Ben. It's another thing we've learnt this
I'll
morning.
bring you some more camel facts a
I'm
little
just
later.
stuck on the mascara on
a camel.
I
They
don't
take
understand.
it
Can you top
very
that?
seriously.
I can, but you know, I used to do sheep judging back in the day, and we definitely didn't put mascara on the sheep.
But that presumably wasn't for beauty, was it?
Well, it's part of it because you know you've got to have the sheep has to be an attractive sheep.
I'm looking at the position of your hands there. What was that
I don't know
denoting?
why I did that.
What-
Apparently,
All of these
It's because you're an
hidden
expert.
at no
You know
point
exactly
was
what you're
this
talking about.
gesturing. It's getting worse. I'm going to move on. I'm going to move away from this. Okay, so a huge mixture in the papers today, but I do want to draw your attention to a fantastic interview in The Sun today. This is with Rob Burrow. He was diagnosed with motor neuron disease just at the end of last year. It was an incredibly sad story, but it's a lovely interview. He's talked about how he told his children. They're pictured here as 2 little girls, there's Macy and Maya, and their attitude was, Dad, why are you telling us this? That's boring. And he said that their attitude and the way they've been have just really helped him through the diagnosis. So it's been an incredible journey for him.
That's good. Holly, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, thanks,
Thank
Ben.
you as well. Let's see, time now is... And if they'd been sheep, for example, Holly would have been
I knew you were
right on
You've
hand
been bang on
to
it.
give
You
us an
could
assessment.
just-
of-
yeah.
I'd be the person to tell you if they were sheep.
How do you judge a sheep?
Judge a sheep? Its coat is very important. Legs also very important.
Oil
Head.
consistency is important in
That's
sheep's
right.
coats.
Exactly.
To be
So
honest,
you do know.
when you started out, you were an expert on sheep. You've just said legs are important.
Legs are important.
So
on the
I think,
sheep,
frankly,
turns out.
you've lost my confidence.
So do you mean so a 3-legged sheep wouldn't have a chance?
Honestly,
That's a bit mean.
I remember this is right. Just to explain to anyone who wasn't actually watching earlier on, I used to do a bit of sheep judging in my
Where?
in my young farmers' days, and this says a lot. And I remember the first time I had to be judged for sheep judging, if that makes sense. It's a competition that you do.
see how good
and,
you were.
and they laughed at me. I mean, I think I would have been better with
not
the
very nice.
mascara on the camels we discussed earlier on.
Well, if
to be
you
honest.
said that what you just said, which is legs are important,
I think at one
can
point,
understand why.
I think
Do
at one point I did say that looks like a very attractive sheep, which isn't quite.
But they are pretty animals. They can be very pretty.
Exactly. Well, I thought so about this one.
Yeah.
Take us to the land of cricket.
Let's do that, shall we? Let's move on.
Go for it.
Jimmy Anderson, I've got some bad news, I'm afraid. Now, this is a man who got injured on the first day of the Ashes way back in the summer. That was a calf injury. Ruled him out for the tour of New Zealand, to give him a bit of time to recover. He came back to South Africa and he's now picked up another injury. This time it's a rib injury. Now, there's a lot of discussion now about the fact that he's the grand old age of 37. You know what it's like, Charlie,
37.
Exactly, 37 at your prime and picking up these
You're not th-
injuries. It's tough, isn't it?
You're not 37 yet.
No.
Read on.
Yeah, marginally. But it does mean that England now will be without Jimmy Anderson for those final 2 tests in South Africa. So he's headed home and it goes. Oh, how frustrating is that? We love an own goal, though, especially when it looks like that.
Didn't it bounce off 2 of their own defenders?
Yeah.
didn't it? And then bounced
and then
bounced off the goalkeeper.
Exactly, all 3 of them.
Can you imagine what that team talk from the manager is going to be like?
Oh, I think the result would have said more.
It's just bad luck, isn't it?
It's unlucky. It
That's not
happens.
bad
It-
luck. That's
It's just
incompetence.
bad
Come on.
I feel for them. Holly, thank you very
No
much.
worries.
Time now is 6:40. injuries in the cricket.
Yeah, speaking of departures, one man has made his departure from South Africa. I mean, this is somebody who, during the Ashes, he went out on day one, managed to injure his calf at that point, and that took him out of action until this series in South Africa. Everyone very happy to have him back, and now
Jimmy Anderson that we're talking about.
Of course, who's now injured his rib.